Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Wisemen Say podcast. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. Jerald, my friend, how's it going, buddy?
I just got my sanity back.
Yeah, I think we all lost it on Saturday.
I man, I'm still flabbergasted by
I
everything.
I described it as a a moment at the zoo when an animal gets out and causes a whole bunch of ruckus.
Jumanji.
And yeah, I should have described it as Jumanji. Um, but no, man, that was something else. But look, we're all going to get into this madness here. Crew NYCFC recap. Gerald, my friend, you have Cappy's Corner.
Yes, sir.
We have Crew Timbers preview with special guest Ryan Clarke from the Oregonian coming up at 9:15. We have MLS predictions, and then Gerald, the new segment, yellow card, red card. All of this here on the Wisemen Say podcast. So, my friend, uh, let's unpack all this the best that we can in 28 minutes. Crew NYCFC. Mainly, I mean, there's not much to talk about the game, right? It's
No,
all it's all about it's all about what happened in the second half.
man, listen. 13 minutes in, and you could already tell what kind of game it was going to be. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
no warnings, no talking tos, just straight yellow card for time wasting for Barraza from NYCFC.
I think that's the fastest time I've ever seen a goalkeeper get a yellow card for time wasting.
Which I'm not mad at him getting a yellow card for time wasting, right?
But why do it so early? That's the question.
Exactly.
Why do it so early? Like, my guy, we just started the game. You're not winning 3-0 inside 13 minutes. It'd be different if you were winning 3-0 inside 13 minutes
Yeah.
to start time wasting. But my friend, the game just started at 0-0. Why are you time wasting? Did they want a draw? Because they got a draw, but I mean, were they just playing for a draw or what?
I think they are because I think they want Nick Cushing out. Um, and I looked at some of their boards and all that, and
You went down the threads of
yes,
NYCFC Reddit or something?
yeah, and it was fire Cushing, get him out. That's horrible. How could we we were up? How did we let this game get away? Um, and I wanted to put some laughing emojis on some of their comments, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Jared, I've warned you about going down rabbit holes for other
Yeah.
teams.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to see what their fans saw. You know what I'm saying? To get two sides of the fence.
Their fans, I'm pretty sure their fans saw the same thing. I'm pretty sure New York City fans were probably questioning a lot of calls.
They actually were.
I mean, it wouldn't put it past them.
Surprisingly, you would think that a team that's seeing all these calls go against the other team, be like, yeah, that was uncalled for of them, or this, that, and the third. But they were actually there was a bunch of them was like, yeah, what is this dude's problem? Does he suffer from LDS?
My guy was on a power trip.
He suffered from LDS. Um, but no, 13 minutes you could tell the game was a little. It was going to be chaotic, right?
Yeah,
And the thing that started it all was ball goes out. There's about a minute or almost 2 minutes where the ball's not in play, right? No whistle, no nothing. As soon as the ball goes in and there's about to be a breakout, Cucho's about to score, honestly, off of that throw in. And there's a foul. It's whistled dead and said that there was a foul, from the play previous, right?
yeah.
Come on now. You had almost 2 minutes before Lucas threw that ball in. and he was sitting there holding the ball like, what do I do? What do I do? You know, come on now.
Um, I wanna talk about the descent from Lucas Zelarayan. Um, I so I don't know what exactly happened because the way I see it was the ball was hit over top, long ball, right?
Hmm.
And Lucas is running. He has his eyes on the ball. Um, he gets around the New York City defender, and all of a sudden, the New York City defender just falls, and it's a foul on Lucas. And then I don't know what he did. I don't know if
He kicked the
he.
ball.
But see, I don't think he did because the ball was. I think the ball was already thrown in at the time, or something like that.
It was
I don't.
after he the ref blew the whistle, and Lucas is going off on the ref like, how, pretty much talking to him like, how is this a foul, when, you know what I'm saying, going on and on, and the ref wasn't trying to hear it, and Lucas kicked the ball. That's where the dissent came in.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But my friend, read the room.
That should have been a yellow on NYCFC for simulation. Like, Lucas goes by you, didn't touch you, and you fall.
Yeah, I.
Who
It's
who tripped him? Casper?
what I think the thing was that when he went around, Lucas did like one of those little swim move type things. But even then, you see players do that all the time. So what's the foul there for? Read the room. You have so much like it just doesn't make sense.
It didn't. I want to know what was said at halftime.
Probably, probably. Hey, I know that. Hey, I know. I know we're playing
No, not
against
not
12
in the,
people.
not in the locker room. I want to know what was said on.
Oh, Cucho.
Yes, because Evan Bush had to come off the bench and go up there.
Well, it's hardly you hardly ever see Evan Bush get so mad. You I've never seen Evan Bush be so animated and so emotionally invested in a game than this one.
Because and that's the thing, it sucked.
Yeah.
It really sucked because this was actually supposed to be a good game. Two teams, granted, NYC, you got to give props to NYCFC because their defense is stifling, right?
Yeah.
So you got to give them props. And Cucho's mom was in the stands. I think
Cucho's
this was
mom. Cucho's mom.
it was,
Cucho's
it
mom.
was supposed to be, from what I heard, was Cucho's mom's got it going on. That song. So, and it just ended up being Cucho's mom.
Whoever did that is absolutely amazing.
Who do you think?
I mean, I know it's the Nordeca, but like,
um, no, but I think that was her first game.
yeah, it was.
And to see the foolishness from the ref, you know, that's what, I'm trying to keep it PG-13.
Hey man, like I said, we can mark this explicit. It's okay.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna do that, then the bullshit that the fucking ref. Now I can actually let it out because I was trying to hold it in the press box.
I got a nice message from my editor,
Which one?
Mr.
Oh,
But it's okay. Everything's fine.
was it about me or?
No. It was me. It was me.
Oh,
No. Nothing from you. It was on me. It's good though. We're fine.
I I got you because I don't know. Like, I was trying to hold it in.
Uh, yeah, same. That's why. That's why I just kept. That's why I was just like,
Yeah,
I kept shaking my head and laughing at myself because like this is absolutely asinine. Oh, is
yeah,
that my guy? Is that my
yeah.
guy?
That's my partner in crime, King Ort.
What's going on? All right.
Yes, the Nordeca did not keep it. The whole stadium did not keep it PG-13. Okay,
As you heard in the 89th minute.
it started just trickling around.
But here's okay. But here's if we can be serious for a second, right? If you are a match official and you are refereeing a high intense game, because this game was intense from the very first start, from the very first whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And as time goes on, and you're making calls, and you know the home team's fan base is absolutely losing their minds. At one point in time, when you hear 20,533 uh, individuals all chanting one thing in unison, in the back of your mind, you have to think, okay,
How
something's
am I getting
happening.
home?
I'm losing control of this game. He lost control of the game and didn't reel it back in. That's the thing. That's the problem. He didn't reel it back in.
And no, he didn't. He didn't even try.
Yeah, correct.
You know, we counted 3 handballs at least that should
Uh,
have
go ahead. Go ahead.
went against NYCFC, right?
Yeah, I'll have something to say about that when your thought is complete.
Um, and then you get a Luis Diaz subbed in, right?
That guy has not missed a beat.
And you could tell how hard he has worked, from the so-so game that he did with against Chicago FC 2, with Crew 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he re-aggravated his back, was out like another week or two. No, another week. Came back to Crew 2, played a full 45 and looked like the Diaz, from last year, right?
Right. Yeah.
Comes into the game on Saturday and it just picks up where he left off before
Mm-hmm.
he got hurt. And watching him get tackled from behind on the sideline, right? And the ref continues play. Now I get that, okay, you continue to play to see if who gets the advantage, right?
Yeah.
At what point do you blow the whistle? When you see Columbus had the ball,
Mm-hmm.
tackled from behind, NYC has the ball. They start to, attack up the field. That's when the whistle should have been blown, and it wasn't. That's what set the melee off there, for the red cards.
So I was fortunate enough. This was my first time doing this ever. I was fortunate enough to be the pool reporter um, for the match officials.
Mm-hmm.
And per the uh, pro referee source, um, the the handball incidents, were checked, but nothing. They were checked but completed, if that makes sense. Um, Now on to we'll get into this here in a minute. I'll get to the rest of them later on. But the second yellow for Cucho in the second half, I don't think that's it's a foul, yes, but I don't think it's deemed. I don't think it's worth enough of another yellow card.
It wasn't, yes, okay. A foul high boot, no problem, right?
Yeah,
Cucho's foot never hit Chenault's head or face.
yeah.
It was the ball. And that should have been sent to review and had that second yellow waved off. But because
The problem is second yellows can't be reviewed unless it's a case of mistaken identity.
They did that for Amundsen.
What?
It was a
You're talking about Chicago?
yeah.
They checked it because there was a offside prior to that. And also I think it was a straight red.
No, it was his second.
Well, then they checked it for the offside because there was an offside prior to that. That's why they. But the thing is, they checked it, but they didn't send them to the a monitor. So that is essentially that was what would have happened for it. How can I put this?
Well, VAR didn't do its job, and chimed in and said, "Hey, go look at that second yellow because it just doesn't look right because yes, Cucho's foot was high, not taking that away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm not either.
He never touched the face, never touched the head of Chenault.
Hmm.
It was the ball. And clearly on the video, you could see the ball come off of Cucho's foot, hit Chenault in the face, and he went down holding his face. That right there, honestly, without having that second, VAR saying, go look at that right there is really what sent everybody over edge. And then
Yeah.
you bring in Luis Diaz, and he gets tackled from behind on a pretty much a breakout down the side.
Oh, you're talking about the. All right, now you're getting into the fun stuff.
Yeah, because and that right there was the match that the powder keg had already been lit on fire from Cucho, and it just exploded right there.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy. They don't even have the yellows, the red cards in the summary on MLSsoccer.com. So here's the thing, right? About that, it's 100% a foul against New York
not taken away.
because if you look, I can't remember who it was, but somebody gets Diaz, and then Justin Hack gets him, pulls him down. Like if you're running and you put your hand on a guy's like shoulder, like right here, and make one move, and that's 100% a foul. It's funny that it doesn't get called because now you have essentially 20,533 plus another 22, 23, 24, 25, however many people are allowed on the bench,
Minus
all in
minus the eight
arms.
pigeons in the corner.
Yeah, well, yeah, all in arms. All in arms. And why? And now this, I'm going to segue into what was just announced today. Also, it's should Nazi have entered the field of play? No, that's 100% a red card. However, it's not worthy of a red card if you have to give that manager a talking to early on in the game, super early on in the game. I don't think it should be warranted. However, because he didn't enter the field of play, okay, yeah, that's fine. But the thing that gets me is you wave play on, and after two passes, you stop play again. Why? What happened there? And then you go and look at this incident, but you just can't. It has to be better.
It has to be
And
consistent.
yeah, and if this is the level of which MLS referees are at, then there needs to be some sort of training. Or what's the training you have to go back?
the one that Cucho had to do like last year?
No, it wasn't that. It was
Refresher courses.
something like that. I think so. Yeah, it's something like that. I can't remember. To step your game up because this game was just out of control. And the crazy thing is, right? I texted one of my friends. I told him, I said, this is absolute shambolic. I was like, this guy's. Sorry, I got a message from somebody, from my editor.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble.
No, I texted him earlier about an article idea. But the thing is like, long story short, it's you have to be better. You have to be 10 times better than this. And if this is the standard of what you're setting for referees who want to be in MLS, then something needs to change.
I hate to say it, but they're trying to get things to go Messi's way.
Do you think now the question is, I saw this article on, I think it was The Athletic or something like that. Do you think the referees will give Messi the Jordan treatment?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think at first,
Connor, hello.
What's going on, Connor? At first, I think he'll get the Jordan treatment, right? Getting all the fouls called against, other teams, fouling him, for little baby stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then I think he'll get the LeBron treatment. Not the early LeBron treatment, but the later one where they tell him, that's not a foul when clearly it's a foul.
Yeah.
It's sad when you have a referee's, I don't know, daughter, wife, daughter, whatever you want to call her,
wife,
only talk about the one incident and not look at the context of everything. Right?
So the funny thing is I watched that, and then I go on Twitter and I see everybody just talking about the same thing. I'm like, all right, well, everybody watch instant replay.
You weren't the only one.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody was mad. I mean, if you can escape a draw against essentially 12 men, that's absolutely amazing.
At first, I thought Ted Uncle was out there.
Dude, he made Ted Uncle look good.
Hello, but yes, nobody should be throwing anything at the officials, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I
don't condone that.
Yeah, no,
that's
same.
Right. However, when you don't look at the context, and I even asked her the same question.
Somebody threw something?
The water.
From the coaching staff.
Yeah, from Federico. I asked her a question. I said, okay, outside of the water being thrown, where was the consistency, right? Where was it when it was a blatant, forearm to the face to Cucho as he was turning the corner there at the top of the box? No foul called, right? Where was the consistency when, Luis Diaz was pulled down from behind? Where was the foul where Nagbe was ran through, right? And fouled, and then Sean Zawatsky was turned around and fouled right after Nagbe. Where was the foul that should have been called on against NYCFC for the face, the hit to the face on Matan and drew blood?
Was that first half? No, second half.
Second half. Matan was on, Matan had the ball and was getting ready to cross it, and he got hit in the face by one of the defenders and drew blood and went down, and play went on.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the foul? Right?
So all this in turn comes to see that head coach Wilfried Nancy has been fined an undisclosed amount and issued an additional suspension, meaning he will not only miss Portland this Saturday. Is that Starry?
Yes.
Water, my friend.
I had 6 bottles of water today.
I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide. So not only will he be missing the Portland game this Saturday, but as Connor jumped it, he will miss Hell is Real when we come back from Leagues Cup.
I think the second one should.
However, and so let's get to this real quick. Federico, the assistant coach, I think he
Trainer?
Yeah, he's not a trainer though. I think he's like the strength and conditioning coach
Or performance coach.
something like that. He has been fined. He has been fined, I believe, and suspended an extra 2 games. So he will miss Portland.
Hell is real.
Hell is Real, and I can't remember who the third one is. It's I have heard that the club is looking to appeal. I think one of the things is I think I can't remember what it is. I'll probably ask tomorrow, like off the record or something like that. But I just want to make sure. I don't want to say it because I want to make sure my thinking is correct. Connor says the thing that made me mad was how inconsistent he was. It just seemed like he gave the crew fouls. The MSC was doing the same thing that went uncalled. Correct.
That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. Connor, no, the Leagues Cup does not count towards the ban because this happened during a league game. Leagues Cup is considered a tournament. It's essentially the same thing in the EPL. So, say if Marcus Rashford gets a red card against Man City in the league and they have a FA Cup game coming up, he will play the FA Cup game but will miss the next league fixture. Doesn't matter who it's against. So, Nazi will miss Portland and Hell is Real.
For now.
Hoping that it does get appealed correctly.
I think it will.
I think Nancy will. I think Federico's will not.
Well, Federico, no. Take that 3-game, suspension on the chin there, champ.
It was confusing. It was confusing on who it was too, though, because he really the match official didn't really point out who it was. He just issued the red card, and I'm looking now, and they're like, who I thought it was Steven at first.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was Steven, and then I thought it was Julio, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Hey, Steven trolled.
I saw that. I saw that.
No, but I mean, other than that,
I mean,
to wrap this up,
not wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
I know.
Everyone gets a card.
You get. Oh, they're out there.
Well, you could go get them when I talk about Cappies.
All right.
No, but to wrap everything up, I think, which is correct, yes, Connor. Nancy is the most laid-back coach ever that Columbus has had, or even period that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That was his first red card ever coaching. Thanks, Mom.
She just slid him under my door.
I know. No, but that was his first red card ever.
Yeah, it was. By the way,
It
if you
just
haven't listened to it already, Coach Nazi's post game pressers blowing up on our
I
blowing up on our
know.
platform. Go listen to it now on Spotify, wherever you get podcasts at. Go listen to it because I wasn't there for. I have yet to listen to it, but I saw the transcription.
Hey,
Man,
he
that guy.
he was full of emotions, you know. Um, but all of this outshadowed the game itself.
Correct.
Um, you know, he did say there were some mistakes that were made by the team,
Hmm.
right? There were some good things, there were some bad things, but he overall he was pleased considering all things.
Yeah.
The fight, fighting uh pretty much playing against 12 men,
Yeah.
and to do it down a man, right? And then Matan gets hurt, gets hit to the face, and now we're down two men, right? We were only down two men for like a minute and a half, but still, NYC could have put another one on us, and almost. But thank God for the brick wall. You know,
Yeah.
Patrick Schulte. That's all. He made team of the match.
Yeah. Team of the match today.
Yes,
Yeah. On the yeah, he was starting. He was in the
starting
starting
keeper.
11. Yep.
And this was the first time that I've seen MLS do a clip of keeper saves. Following the
Was
match
all
day.
was all 8 of Patrick Schulte's in there?
I didn't get a chance to finish watching the rest of it,
Hmm.
but there was some unbelievable saves by some of the keepers. But I'm looking to see, I'm gonna go find it and rewatch it to see if I see, all eight of Patrick's. But he was unbelievable, and he even said it. He wanted that goal back that was conceded, but the team, honestly, in the locker room afterwards, they felt it was a win.
Hmm.
There was no head down, solid, gloominess, whatever. Everybody was having fun,
Yeah.
you know. Coach Nancy and Cucho destroyed the locker room before the team got in there when Sean scored.
When Sean scored, he said, I think it was a party in here.
And Patrick said it too, though, right? Patrick said, you know, about Sean's goal, when we need a late goal, call Sean.
That was the answer to my question.
Yeah, and he only shoots back. He only hits bangers.
Sean
It's
Zawadzki
either
only scores on the south end.
I, I think a lot of the crew members. What can we move the Nordeca down there and call it South Deca,
Sudeka.
Sudeca?
Yeah.
Sheesh. But
But
1-1
my
draw felt like a win.
oh yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Um Now, Jerald, my friend, your favorite.
Hey,
Your favorite. It's time for the Cappy's Corner.
you want to talk about fireworks on Saturday? Listen, Sunday was some fireworks too.
Hey man, take it away, dude.
So the Cappies decided they wanted to take a road trip up there to Toronto to take on TFC2, right? Looked like it was going to be it was going to be a little task. So let's see here. I'm sitting there watching it. So TFC picked up a yellow card in the 20th minute. And in the 34th minute, Owen Goal showed up. So don't know if you know who Owen Goal is, but it showed up and Cappies were up 1-0 in the 34th minute. TFC got another yellow card in the 38th minute. 39th minute went level 1-1. 41st minute, TFC went up 2-1, going into halftime. 50th minute, you got Keegan Hughes from an assist from De La Bira. to put, to bring everybody back level, right? 58th minute, uh this is where it went it became fun, right? Marco channeled his inner Lucas Zella Ryan, and halfway between center and the 18, put a banger in. You know what I'm saying? Banger. Cappies go up 3-2. Noah Fuson gets his first yellow card at the 66th minute. I can't remember what the foul was for, but ref gave him a yellow. 78th minute. So you're talking 78th minute, he picks up another yellow. He is out. So you're talking, you got 12, 13 minutes of playing a man down. Then there was a Cappy went down. Oh, Marco went down at the 90th minute. And at the 90th minute, ref gave 4 minutes of stoppage time. Marco had to sit 3 minutes of that out because he got hurt. Trainer had to get called on. Therefore, he had to go off for 3 minutes. Cappies come away with the win, 3-2 up there in Toronto. Noah Fuson will miss the next time Crew 2 plays TFC 2. So he, the way they have their rules, that you get a red card. The next time that, you guys play each other, you won't be available for that match. So I can't remember when TFC 2 and Crew 2 play again, but the next time they do match up, he won't be there on the bench.
I forget the score of that game. Wasn't it like 2?
3-2.
3-2. That's right. I remember seeing Marco's goal on Twitter.
It was a banger.
The guy just turned around and just hits a rocket. And the bad thing is the goalie had a chance to save it, but he just gave up on it.
And on the own goal, right? That was the keeper saved it, and like he didn't hold on to it, like he deflected it, and it went off the back of a TFC2 player.
Oof.
And right into the goal. So it just was like, and I think I can't remember who actually shot the ball at first, but there were some academy debuts out there. Taha, was out there. Of course, we know that, but Owen Presses,
okay,
made his start. Let's see here, or not a start, but he came in.
He made an appearance.
Yes, and I think his name is not Rayo. We know who that is. Saad made an appearance as well.
Okay.
Who, watching him and Taha in the GA Cup.
Yeah.
Those two together, that boy has speed and size, and is not afraid to get dirty, and can shoot too.
That win, they did win, right?
Yes, they did. 3-2.
For some reason, for some reason, I'm getting them that game and the who they played before, Chicago Fire 2.
Yeah.
I'm getting those two scores mixed up. That win puts Columbus in third place.
Correct. Third place.
Points.
Yep.
Sitting at 10, 5, 2, and 2 on the year. 29 goals for, still with an amazing home record.
One
And
loss.
yeah, and I say about 500 away record.
Yeah, I mean, there's still the two teams that they're trailing, New England and Crown Legacy. Crown Legacy is just actually having an unbelievable year.
Yeah,
When some of their starters are first team players that sit on the bench or get some play. But
yeah.
you're 1 point behind New England, 7 points behind Crown Legacy. So I don't know. It's still a lot of time left. I do believe they are off this week and next week,
Mm-hmm.
before they play a Monday match against. I just had it. I can't remember who they play, but they play a Monday match, and then 4 days later they're on the road to Philly.
Um, Judging by the schedule, they are. When's the 24th?
24th is
That's
the day
20.
after League's Cup, against St. Louis.
What is that? The 23rd? That's a
Yeah.
Sunday.
The 23rd is a Sunday. So Monday they're at
So
home
Monday.
against.
Yeah, against Philadelphia Union 2,
Yep,
and
and then
then yep,
Atlanta too.
Atlanta United 2. 4 days later.
Oh, so Toronto FC, they actually Toronto FC 2 does come into Columbus August 4th. So
Yep.
Noah Fusan will not be a part of that match. I'm sure he'll be somewhere.
Oh, he'll probably be at the game, just in a suite or something like
Yeah.
that. So, Jerald, my friend, before we get into this preview, our Lady Eagles run has come to an end.
Yes, their adventure in the playoffs came to an end. A 3-2 loss to Milwaukee.
The Milwaukee Torrent.
Yeah.
And went to extra time though.
And that just goes to show you the season that they had.
Yeah, the resiliency,
Yeah.
even in the Midwest Conference Championship.
Yeah.
Um, but it also shows that women's soccer in Columbus
It's
is
booming.
on a rise.
If we could get a group like what Jordan Angeli has out there in Denver with the for Denver FC movement that they are spearheading to try to get an NWSL team out there, we need that here in Columbus. So D and Jimmy, Dr. Jet, Dr. Edwards, H.W. Johnson, please go spend some money to get an NWSL team.
Please.
Please.
Wrong thing. There we go.
Get the franchise rights, whatever, for an NWSL team, and just hire just Columbus Eagles.
Yeah.
Just go for it. They already wear black and gold.
You already have a stadium.
They already have a stadium to play at.
It'll be fun.
What better way to bring an NWSL championship to Historical Crew Stadium?
Or lower.com field.
I mean, you would want to put it at, the banner at Historical Crew.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Or both.
Or both. That would be lovely. You have Crew Crew Cup, Next Pro, and then NWSL.
Mm-hmm.
What team in MLS can say that?
A couple. Well, not Next Pro yet, at least.
Exactly.
Jared, my friend, we head into the Pacific Northwest this coming Saturday. It sucks I will not be there. I tried so hard. But we do have a very special guest coming from the Oregonian. I hope I said that right. Ryan Clarke. Ryan, my friend, how are you tonight?
Good, guys. How's it going?
It's another day in paradise.
Yeah,
Oh,
I hear you.
Ryan, for crew fans that are watching, tell us a little bit about you, how you got your start with covering the Portland Timbers and Thorns, and a little bit about the Oregonian.
Sure. So the Oregonian is the flagship newspaper up in the Pacific Northwest. The number one local news source up there between us, the Seattle Times and others that are up there. But the Oregonian is Oregon's newspaper, and it's been around for a long time. And I've been there for a couple of years now, covering the Timbers and Thorns. Before that, they hired me on to cover high school sports, but they needed somebody to cover the Timbers and Thorns. So I jumped on that opportunity. I'm only a few years out of college, so it's a great chance for me early in my career, and it's been an interesting time the last couple of years covering this team, both of these teams, to say the least, both on and off the field. So.
Going before we get into the preview, going off of, I believe it's is it Santi Moreno, the news surrounding him.
Yeah.
Just touch on that a little bit. What's going on in that situation?
So he requested a transfer from the team. He's a 23-year-old Colombian winger who they have talked about a lot as being one of their most important players and somebody that they envision selling to Europe in the future. He has those personal ambitions, and then the team, before all this happened, that was something that they talked about a lot. Now, according to people close to him, he's upset with his salary situation and is trying to get a better contract, and the two sides are pretty far apart on that. And so that's been the main factor, in addition to some alleged issues with coach Gio Savarese, which Gio claims this week that, they have a great relationship and that they talk to each other all the time. But, people around Santi have mentioned his role and how he fits into Gio's system as something that led to him asking for a transfer.
Okay. Is that something that has been diminished over time? Because I know when I first heard about him, he was like a superstar. He was very good, but has his role kind of been put to the back burner this season, or has this been like an ongoing thing, but now it's just heating up?
He is somebody that features in their squad every single game. The problem for Santi this year has been a lack of production, and he has 0 goals and 6 assists. He leads the team with those 6 assists, but he's a guy that, after the finish that he had to 2022, he was expecting to come out and have a career year that could propel him to maybe get sold to Europe in the next year or two. Now that opportunity seems to be dwindling for him, given his performance, plus the distraction for him of not feeling like he's paid adequately compared to other players of his productivity, at least when you talk about last year's productivity. So the whole situation is a little bit messy right now. He didn't show up to training on Monday, and I don't think he's been there quite yet. That whole situation is what it is. As you can hear, my dogs barking in the background, all 3 of them. So
It's all right. It's all good.
so real quick,
Yeah,
I
go
want to
ahead. Go
ask:
ahead, Joe.
do you think that is a problem of him not producing for all the injuries that the Timbers have had this year,
I
and pretty much they putting it on his shoulders, and with Savarese's system, do you think that's the reason why for the lack of production?
No, I think it's part of it for sure. He's had to play a lot of different positions this year, move back into an 8 role sometimes. He was even at outside back at one point. And this is a kid that wants to be a 10. He wants to be an attacking mid. He wants to be a winger as well. And their injuries definitely hampered his ability to start strong. Plus, he himself was dealing with a little bit of a nagging ankle issue for a few games, so that didn't help him in terms of his mobility, his dynamism. But his issue seems to be that he's not featured centrally in their their attack. A big part of that is that Evander, the $10 million DP signing they had from the offseason from Brazil, he's a guy that makes everything go for this team. Everything that the Timbers do on the attack, which lately has not been much, but when they do, it goes through Evander. He's their best player on the attack far and away. So that signing has made it more difficult for a guy like Santi to contribute.
Looking forward to the game Saturday. Portland leads the season series. It looks like 6-3-3. The last time out, Columbus and Portland drew 1-1. I was actually at that game, 3-2 game in 2018. That was amazing. But sitting at 5-9-7, Ryan, what is the underlying issue for the Portland Timbers this season?
It's just been not getting results, frankly. They have dropped points when they've needed them. They've checked out of some matches lately, including the Minnesota one, where after they got down, they were essentially out of it. And Gio Savarese has talked repeatedly about how over his 6-year tenure in Portland, they have built a strong locker room culture, and that guys have bought in and have not quit on him. But that has started very visibly to happen in a lot of these games for the Timbers. They have guys that are not, playing their full tilt for the full 90. And yes, the injuries had a lot to do with their early season struggles, but they have been healthy for a good number of weeks here. And what they have shown on the field is a team that doesn't seem to be terribly interested in winning. They have some talented individual players, but it's a bit of a mismatched roster. They have a lot of older guys that are at the tail end of their career or are on the downswing. And they have a lot of young guys that either have yet to pan out or who are struggling or who are a couple of years away. So it's this weird mix of players that there are individual talents, but the pieces aren't quite fitting together. And a lot of the issue has for them been in producing on the attack lately. Defending with their back line being thin as it is was an issue early in the season, especially when the injuries were happening. But they've been able to shore that up, signing an additional center back in the transfer window from Peru, who will Miguel Araujo, who will factor in for them very well at the center back position. But it's the attack for them. It's getting quality chances and finishing them is something that has not been there for the Timbers for months now, let alone weeks.
Sitting 12th in the West, I mean, Portland is about 3 points out from Kansas City and your Cascadia rivals, Vancouver Whitecaps. What needs to flip this season for the Timbers? Is it goals? Is it just as Columbus has had a problem in recent games, killing the game off when we have the lead, or whatnot? What's the turnaround for the Timbers look like before hitting to this break for the Leagues Cup?
They just need a little motivation, right? I think that this match on Saturday in particular, and you guys may want to touch on this later on, but it's an opportunity for the team to honor Diego Valeri, who is a legend with this club, an MLS legend, somebody who has pained Columbus Crew fans in the past, as you guys well know. But yeah, they didn't pick that match by accident. I'll say that.
I believe that.
but that is a motivator, right? These guys, a lot of them played with Valeri. They love him. It will bring the atmosphere up in Providence Park, and it would be really rough for them to drop a result at home on Diego Valeri's night, where he's entering the Ring of Honor, where they're putting his name permanently in Providence Park. The first MLS era Timber to be in that group, the first Latino in that group. I mean, it's a big deal for the city, for this era of MLS. So there's your motivation, because right now on the field, in the locker room, at training, they're pretty much lacking it, and they really need more from these guys to get results.
Sounds like we've read that book before, Ty.
Yeah, I know, right?
What chapter 2?
Yeah. Ryan, I was actually supposed to be in Portland, or on my way to Portland. I was going to catch the Amtrak out there.
Oh yeah.
Obviously I'm still here in Columbus, but what does you touched on Diego Valeri. What does Diego Valeri mean to the Portland community, to the Portland Timbers franchise?
Oh, it's everything. He represents the start and, really coming of age, for lack of a better term, of the DP era in MLS. He's a guy that came to MLS in his prime and starred and won an MVP, won an MLS Cup, the first and only that the Timbers have. And more than that, he was a community ambassador. He was somebody that, people would see on the street and, be able to have a conversation with him. He volunteered in the community. He was, an influential figure with kids, doing camps with kids locally, all the good stuff that you hear about athletes that, can sometimes sound cliche, but was very much true for Valeri. He was a beloved player and person here and continues to be. If the Timbers front office is smart, they will find a way to get that guy a role in the future whenever he's done with this broadcast thing, because having people like that around your organization can only do good. So,
Hey, you do got one of our former Crew 2 player, actually a couple of them on the Timbers 2 roster, Tristan Weber and Michael Vang. Has Portland brought up some of their Timber 2 players?
Yeah, so Tyler Clegg has had opportunities. He's a center back, young guy. They've given Noel Caliscan, a young German midfielder, a first team contract. He started out on T2 this year and was really good. Problem for him has been he just hasn't really had those opportunities because Diego Chara plays his position. And Christian Paredes also is a defensive midfielder and has not really missed a game lately, has been healthy. He was a signing that essentially happened because Eric Williamson was hurt and David Ajala, another young midfielder, was also injured. So those two guys have had their opportunities. Victor Griffith is another one. He has had a couple of call-ups, but no official first team signing just yet. So, the Timbers have this notorious history of not really investing as much in their academy, and that might not be in terms of dollar figures, but just in terms of the quality of players they bring in, how often they bring them up. There are examples over the years, though, of guys for whom they have had success. Zach McGraw is one of those guys, right? He's one of their starting center backs out of Army. The first draft pick out of Army. He's now had a chance with the Canadian national team. Really developed himself into an extremely solid MLS player and someone who I think is going to continue to be one of the most important players on the field for this Timbers team the rest of the season, because he's able to move and be rangy and be vertical in ways that, the Timbers' other center backs that have been on the roster previously in Dario Zuprich and Larry Smabiala, they haven't. They're older guys. They're just rock solid, punchy in the mouth type of center backs. And Zach gives you something different and exciting. So, he should be available on Saturday. He and Canada just got eliminated from the Gold Cup on Sunday. So I would imagine that, Zach's in 90 minutes form and is going to be ready to go on Saturday.
Ryan, looking at the season stats so far for both teams, Columbus leads in the offensive category, but looking at the defensive category, 52% duels won for Portland, 10 one tackles, on average about 3 saves, 19 clearances. What does that say about the defense that Gio puts out?
The defense has improved quite a bit from the start of the season. I will give them credit. It's not just, a product of Diego Chara being, the nagging and like obnoxious to other teams' fans presence in the midfield. He's still in top form at 37 years old, but it's more of a team shape thing for them lately. And Zach is a big part of that. I think that, a guy like Juan David Mosquera, who has played up on the attack a lot as an outside back, young Colombian, 19 years old, he's got attention from Europe as well. So, and he probably, of anybody, is going to make that jump first. But Claudio Bravo on the other side at outside back. All those guys have come together to form a strong defensive shape. I think that Aljaž Ivačić in goal has been strong. He's had rough performances lately and has, essentially been taken out of the lineup in favor of David Bingham for a few games. So individual players coming together to have strong team defensive shape, I think, has led to a lot of their success in the last few weeks.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Bingham who got hurt at one point in time? I think it was last year. A leg injury, or was it?
That was this year. And so
okay, so it was this year.
Bingham had a hamstring issue earlier this year, and that was right around the time that Ivačić came back into the starting lineup. He had an issue with Gio Savarese where they had a disagreement about his health status and his ability to play and everything, and he called him a liar publicly, which isn't great.
Yeah.
But that situation still lingers as in terms of that potential relationship. But Ivačić is the best keeper that they have. Bingham is a very solid MLS starting caliber keeper, but Ivačić is the guy that had the most saves in the league last year, or at least tied for it, with, I believe, New England's keeper. So when they had issues and when they were leaky defensively, he was always the savior. Now his form recently hasn't been great. There could be a number of factors that have led to that we don't quite know, but he's their guy for sure.
Random question: Ivačić or Donovan Ricketts in his prime?
Well, Ricketts. I mean, I can't not say Ricketts, right? Like,
yeah,
he's definitely Ricketts. But I love Aljaž. He's a great guy, and he's had a lot of great performances in his career. But
now you guys have to finish up a match that was postponed against the Colorado Rapids tomorrow night. How will that affect the team going into Saturday? I mean, it could be like a Wednesday, Saturday thing almost, but I mean, me and Jerald, we have our fair share of a story against Charlotte last year where we played 16 minutes and had to make it up towards the end of the season. But you guys are playing pretty much a whole half. How is that going to affect this game on Saturday? Affect the players, I should say.
Yeah, no, it's going to suck for the Timbers. Like they have to, they're on their way to Denver now, and they got to go play that 45 at altitude and then fly back and then recharge in time for a full 90 against the Crew. Now, the group that's going to be out there against Colorado is going to look a lot different than the one that's coming out against Columbus. There are injured players like Sebastian Blanco, Jimmy Chara, and others that were not available for the first half in Colorado. Therefore, they're not eligible for the second half. And then you've got the issue with Moreno not showing up to training, and he probably won't be there in Colorado, and his status for Saturday's up in the air. But there's going to have a lot more guys available against Columbus than they will against Colorado. So that's a under benefit, I would say, of what's happening. They're kind of just going to throw out who they have against Colorado and then fly home. But they need that result too. Let's be honest. Like they are tied right now at halftime with the Rapids, and that is a bad Rapids team. And they need to try and come out of there with 3 points, one at the absolute least. If they lose on Wednesday, which is tomorrow night now, they're not going to be feeling very good going into this Columbus match, and that could totally hang over. So if you're a Crew fan, you might be wanting the Rapids to come out and pummel them a little bit in this final 45, and then maybe it carries over.
Columbus will be without star forward Cucho Hernandez, as he got a red card in the New York City game. For Columbus, that is pretty much an opportunity for Christian Ramirez. But what will Portland need to do to pounce on that opportunity, as Columbus are missing their $10 million forward?
Yeah, score, right? Like they need to score goals. It's just week after week on my podcast that I host with Chris Reifer, who is a former blogger and now a lawyer in the Portland area, who used to cover the Timbers, is a big fan of the team. Every week we talk about the fact that the Timbers haven't been able to score goals, and now with no Cucho Hernandez, with this Columbus team down its best attacking player, like, you got to think that their defensive shape will continue for the Timbers. So go get a win. Go score a couple goals in front of the Timbers Army. Evander has been in and out of the lineup with some lower leg issues, quote unquote. We'll see what version of him shows up. He's been a really exciting player for them, to tell you the truth, but there have been games where he seems not quite all the way checked in, and if he is and he's on, he's the type of guy that can make a game-winning play. And Frank Boley, another one, they're one of their strikers. They brought him in from the Hungarian league, and he's of Ivorian background. He's a guy that has played on the international stage. He's been really good lately. So those two guys, Frank Boley and Evander, are going to be the two key cogs, as they have been in recent weeks, for the Timbers to try and score some goals. They need to score. This is going to be a rock fight in all likelihood. So it'll be up to the Timbers to be the ones to kind of come out and use that energy from Diego Valeri's pregame situation. But he's not walking through that door to score your goals. So somebody else is going to have to come in there and do it.
Right.
I don't know the way Patrick Schulte's been playing. I mean, we'll see. If Portland could get some of those goals. I honestly want a fair match. You know what I'm saying? Granted, you guys are going to be playing Wednesday, and then have to turn around and come back Saturday, right? So,
yep.
I'm hoping you guys pull out the win against Colorado, because it's just something about playing at an even keel.
Yeah, these teams have a history, right? Like it's fun when these two teams play well against each other. It's a bit of an interconference type of rivalry type situation. So I like it. Over the years, I've enjoyed watching the games between these two teams. So
I still remember last year, which I still think the game should have been ended instead. Crew gave up a late goal there in stoppage time.
Yeah, that was a sweet one for Timbers fans for a lot of reasons. So,
that was the downfall of Caleb Porter right there with that match.
Yeah,
against his former team. Ryan, you touched on the Timbers Army. Just how influential are they?
They're majorly influential. I mean, the fact that they have been one of the most recognizable fan bases in MLS since the team's inception, that they've been outspoken for social causes, and have really been representative of the Portland community in a lot of really positive ways. And they've taken on the front office on their fair share of occasions, especially with the off-field scandals of the last couple of years for PTFC. So they're always going to make their voice heard. They're always going to show up, be loud, and be one of the things that is best, I think, about MLS is fan bases like the Timbers Army, who consistently there, consistently loud, and have developed this sort of team culture around the Timbers that it's why the Timbers have had their success in recent years. Now there are arguments that we could get into on a whole other podcast about where the Timbers are headed in terms of their standing in MLS, who's surpassing them, of which I believe there are many teams. But regardless, the Timbers Army is always going to be there, and they have proven that.
I was fortunate enough. There was a game in Columbus. I want to say it was 15, not MLS Cup. Was it 15 or 16? I can't remember. I swapped scarves with a Portland Timbers fan, and he gave me the rare Timber scarf. It has "You Are My Sunshine" on the one side. I think it was for Timber Joey or Timber Jim. I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was only exclusive to the 107 supporter group.
Yeah, 107ist is the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We swapped that, and I was like, "Are you sure, man?" He's like, "Yeah, man. You know that I'm like, it's hanging up in my closet right now on the hanger. I haven't touched it since then. That's probably the one moment that I would cherish forever." And
Yeah.
the tribute, I think it was Jack Jewsbury when former Crew player Kirk Urso passed away. And the multiple two sticks that were in the Timbers Army during the Timbers. It wasn't even the Timbers crew; it was Timbers, and I think DC United. When the after Kirk's passing, and Timbers did a tribute to Kirk Urso. I Portland is my second favorite team. I absolutely love the Portland Timbers.
Yeah.
But Jerald, you have any other thing? I got two questions for Ryan before we let him go.
I got one question, and so I don't know if you caught some of the highlights of the Cruise supporter, the Nordeca, how loud they can get and everything, and not only at the games but also with community stuff, save the crew whole movement and everything. Is that something that going into Leagues Cup, say, Portland doesn't win against Colorado, doesn't win against Columbus, that the supporter groups start to demand for change at the head?
So
New coach.
Yeah, I
things
mean,
like
I don't think the supporter groups will come out and call for the coach to be fired on an organizational level. There are certainly members of the Timbers Army who I have spoken to who are unhappy with the current situation the Timbers are in. The standard is high for this club, right? They expect to be MLS Cup contenders year in and year out, and this is going on the second straight losing season and possibly the second season in a row for the Timbers not even making the postseason. We're talking about an expanded 9-team MLS playoff. And if you're not in that and you're a Timbers organization that's, got their MLS Cup, got an MLS's back trophy, been to 2 other MLS Cups, both of those, by the way, under Gio Savarese.
They did win MLS's back.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a fun run. And that's something that Gio hangs on his belt, is that and the 2 cup appearances. This isn't cutting it for fans. They're upset about what's happening right now, and Gio has acknowledged that the standards have not been met, right? But I don't think that the supporters group themselves are going to come out and call for the coach's head or anything. He's been very good about maintaining relationship with those people and being a positive presence in the community through his years here. So.
Ryan, before we let you go, what is your prediction for Saturday? It's okay to be biased, by the way.
Sure. Given the emotions of what's been happening with last few weeks for them, that they need a win, that they are going to be honoring Diego Valeri. I feel like, despite recent form, that the Timbers have a 2-1 victory coming on Saturday. The crew not having Cucho is very big. That if they was there, I would probably not be making the prediction that I just made. But I think 2-1 Timbers is what's going to happen, and that would surprise me. I'm making a prediction of something that would surprise me based on recent form, because right now, week in and week out, I am not expecting the Timbers to win, given recent form, given some of the attitude that has been on the field. But 2-1 Timbers, why not?
I think it's also worth noting that they will also be without head coach Wilfried Nancy on the touchline, so that could possibly become true.
Yes.
For the Timbers, without the gaffer in charge. Last one is a little game we like to play. I did it when I started the show, and I just brought it back last week. It's called Yellow Card, Red Card. So yellow card would be something you don't like but you can tolerate. Red card is obviously something you don't like at all. It can be as simple as Chipotle messing up your order, or Amazon delivering your package to the wrong house. So if you had to give a yellow card, something that you don't like but you will tolerate it, what would it be?
Does this have to be Timbers related here, or are we
Nope.
talking just anything in life?
Anything in general.
Oh man, where do I start? Yellow card. People who laugh at every joke during a movie. Like, if a movie has like, little quips or like, funny moments, people that go out of their way to make sure they are heard laughing loudly in a movie theater, that really pisses me off, man. Like, that's a yellow. Like, I'm not gonna like, go bananas over it, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something that I'm like holding up the caution card toward.
Right. And red card, something you absolutely do not like. You want no part of it at all.
People who are rude to like wait staff at restaurants. Like
facts.
Like that is like the number one like sign of like a lack of character for me, is like people who, are impatient and rude and act as though the server is there only for them and to serve their needs. And there are certain generational differences that exist there that, I could go on about, but like I really wish that people would have more empathy for people that work in the service industry who oftentimes are living off of tips, and also tip generously. That's an additional point I want to make there. Like, if you're able to afford it, please tip people generously. But that to me is number one red card. Like, I don't want to hang out with this person. Like, regardless of their age. Like, if you're a dick to people that work in the service industry, I just, no thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
There's two jobs that I've always said you don't never want to mess with, and that's somebody that's making your food and delivering your food, and somebody who's cutting your hair.
That's right.
both can make you have a real bad night.
Yes. Yeah, and possibly a long time after that. So, yeah.
Ryan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this preview with us.
Sure, no problem, guys. Appreciate you.
I look forward to reading your 2-1 victory recap on Saturday. And where can people find you on social media?
Sure. So you can follow me on Twitter at Ryan T. Clarke. And then I host a podcast, as I mentioned before, with Chris Reifer. We're Soccer Made in Portland. So wherever you get your podcasts, if you want to, listen to us talk about this game and everything else going on with PTFC lately, where we're going to record this Thursday. So that should be out probably Thursday, or late morning, early afternoon, for Crew fans that maybe want to get the other side of this matchup. So.
Cool. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for doing this, and hope all is well tomorrow for the rest of your week. And thank you.
Of course. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Take care, man. Ryan Clarke, ladies and gentlemen. Good guy.
Great insight.
Yeah, I know, right? I love that.
I still think the coach is out if they don't keep performing.
Yeah. I mean, 6 years and you're starting to lose the locker room. Sorry, man. I'm turning on my fan. You're starting to lose the locker room, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like what Porter, what happened to Porter.
Yeah.
Porter came in, everybody was all gung-ho, oh, we got new change, Burholder's out. Formation didn't change, but we got a new, captain of the ship.
Yeah.
And, when, we're in the playoffs, then COVID hit. We went on the run in the back to MLS's back tournament, got put out, won the cup that year.
Yep.
Look how long it took for us to lose a game at the Fortress. But we won MLS Cup, and then after that, it just was Porter started losing, the locker room each season after that, and it just finally showed in 2022.
Yeah. Jerald, what is your key to the game on Saturday?
So I like his way of thinking that, without Cucho is, Columbus is going to be hurting really bad.
To be honest, I could see it though.
I
Columbus hurt.
can. I could see us hurting a little bit, but look who else that we do have. Yes, we do need Cucho to spearhead that three-headed dragon, right? But we also got, I'm gonna be biased. We got Mr. Cappy himself, Jason, coming back from Toronto,
Yeah.
from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We got him coming back, and he's hungry. You saw it in the Gold Cup game.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about. I want to talk about that after we're done here.
Yeah, so
we'll
you saw.
We'll talk about it on there.
Yeah, so he talked. You see the hunger in him.
Mm-hmm.
You also got Matan still. You got Parente, who is actually playing decent underneath, Nancy. You got Max, who is somebody right now until he's developed a little more, is somebody that's good coming off the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Chibirko coming in, which is a true center back, right? We need that.
Yeah.
So then you're talking about you can move Zawadzki up back to his natural position. I kind of like him back there on that back line, but and we still have Lucas.
Yeah.
Honestly, this team runs through Lucas. And I saw some crew fan tweeted, Lucas is the Jamie Tart.
That was me, and I was talking about Cucho.
Oh.
That was me.
Oh, somebody else said Lucas though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember who. I'm gonna find the tweet and I'm gonna send it. But somebody said Lucas was the Jamie Tart.
I said the same thing about Cucho, just because he has so many assists, and I go, don't pass to me. Oh no, don't pass to me, run through me. And somebody responded to that tweet and was like, Cucho is better than me. I was like, it's a quote from Ted Lasso. It's like, if you're a real Ted Lasso fan, you would understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, but still, even though like that, even with Cucho having that many assists, the game still runs through Lucas.
Yeah,
because without Lucas, then if we didn't have Lucas and Cucho, then I'm worried.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sitting there. I'm scared to even turn on the game.
I'm scared for life. I think my one key before we get to MLS predictions is big goldfish.
Yes.
Big goldfish. That game against New York City's in the past.
Leave it there.
Move on. It although it sucks that we're down Cucho, we're down Nancy, we're down Federico. Be a goldfish. We have a new task ahead of us against Portland, who is hungry for goals, as Ryan said. They're
hungry for wins.
Yeah, they're itching for the wins, for goals, to turn their season around before Leagues Cup starts. Focus on that. We're unbeaten in 8. Focus on that. Also, extend the unbeaten run to 9. Get a win. So, but my friend, it is. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I still like Kwame. The assistant coach that's underneath Nancy. Those two together, you hear him more every game than you do Nancy.
Yeah.
Even though you see Nancy standing up, it's Kwame is the one that's sitting there, yelling.
Yep.
So they both, it's the system. It's going to be like Nancy's there.
Yeah. I believe it. Jerald, before we get into it, things, you want to do a game day episode again? The only reason why I'm asking is because there's MLS games on tomorrow and MLS games on Saturday. So I'm thinking we can do MLS predictions for tomorrow night on this one, and then Saturday, obviously on Saturday.
Yeah, because I'll save my Saturday picks for my predictions for Saturday.
Okay, cool. Well then, my friend, why don't we get right into it? 7:30, New England, Atlanta from Gillette.
Ooh, New England let me down this past Saturday. As far as my parlay ticket goes, but New England and Atlanta. That's in Gillette.
Yep.
Give me 2-1 Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go 2-0 New England.
So 2-1 Atlanta, depending on if Carlos Gil is going to play or not. Because he didn't play Saturday. Neither did Noel Buck. And this is the time that, we got to look to, like some of the ones that have been named to the All-Star team. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be their minutes are going to start getting cut down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take it. 2-1 Atlanta. I think Derek Etienne is back with the team. He was there in Gold Cup, and his team got bounced, and now he's back with Atlanta. I look for Almada to get a brace.
Thiago Almada, guy's a great player.
Giacomakis is a great player too. So
yeah. Red Bulls, Cincinnati from Red Bull Arena.
Give me 1-0 Red Bulls.
Give me 1-0 Red Bulls. Also, I back that for sure.
Cincinnati. I said it. What was it, a couple weeks ago? Here's the downfall for Cincinnati. Right when they drew it home. They drew it home, and they haven't won since. It's been draws.
I saw Pat Noonan on Sunday. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, but they're missing their team.
Yeah,
yes,
Miazga.
That's their team because with Acosta and these new players that they got coming in, which I do want to say they did get a new striker.
Bupenza?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think that might be Vasquez's replacement.
I believe it. I've heard the Mönchengladbach rumors are starting to heat up.
They are. Everything that I'm seeing. So you don't want to bring in two new strikers, one to replace Brenner and then one to replace Vasquez while Vasquez is still there. So
we'll do this one for fun. USA Panama CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals.
Give me Jesus Ferreira with the hat trick.
Look, man, I bet that I had that on a parlay and he didn't do anything, man.
I mean, but you're talking about, even though this is USA's B team and Canada's B team, right?
Panama. Oh wait, no, you're talking about the other game.
There's still Canada's defense was not that bad. You know what I'm saying? There against the US. So
yeah,
I could see them, how they stifled Jesus, right? But then you bring in Vasquez off the bench, and what does he do in front of a home crowd, who thought it was the game winner?
Man, yeah. That was a good goal, though.
I'm not going to take it away from it. It was a beautiful header.
Yeah.
Right? Beautiful header. Set up to beautiful, too. Right? But I think Jesus Ferreira has a knack for playing against like the Central American and the Mexican teams, right? So I say give me Jesus Ferreira with the hat trick.
So you're saying what, 3-0?
3-0.
Give me 2-1 after extra time, USA.
I could back that one, but I'm still going 3-0.
Chicago, Montreal from Soldier Field.
I actually like this matchup because it's two teams that are rebounding going into Leagues Cup. 1-1 draw.
Give me 2-1 Montreal.
I can see it.
Houston, Minnesota from Shell Energy Stadium.
I'm sorry, Houston and who? I was reading that. That's what caught me off.
There's a guy at works in an FC Center. I really want to tell him that he was in crew territory. I mean, you should have. But who would be? Must be a random guy. I was thinking who would be from Cincinnati and in Columbus, Houston, Minnesota.
Give me Houston. I don't care what the score is. Just give me Houston. Minnesota is in in shambles right now.
Give me.
But Houston is without their Ferreira.
Yeah.
I say I'm changing my pick. I say a draw.
A draw?
Yeah. I'm not even gonna put a
Give me one. Yeah, I'll go draw too. It's hard because Minnesota I think drew Austin, and KC and Houston drew also.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to say, fudge.
It's a draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 0-0 on that one. I'm definitely going 0-0 on that one. There's just no way.
No.
Salt Lake. Kansas City, Salt Lake.
Give me Salt Lake. Give me Salt Lake.
On that quick.
Well, I mean, Salt Lake after, yes, they traded Justin Merrim to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who they got in return, if they got anybody, but they were able to go and get Chicho.
Arango.
Who, I mean, Jesus, he had an impact on Saturday, and they won 4-0. So Kansas City is still somewhat in the bottom part of Western Conference.
They're 10th, right below the playoff line.
I mean, they started to have a little bit of resurgence, keeping Peter Ramise's,
mm-hmm.
his job, which I think he should have been gone,
He should have been canned in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but, for some reason, being right there around that playoff line, it's keeping him his job.
Yeah, plus there's still 12 more games to go, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. Give me give me 2-0 Salt Lake. Nashville, Philadelphia from Geodis Park.
Give me Boyko.
My guy.
Give me Boyko 14, and 14. Nashville and Philly 0.
Over under 7 yellow cards in that game.
You mean over under on 5 red cards?
I'm gonna go under red. I'm gonna under red cards, but I'm gonna go over on yellows.
All seriousness, I think. I mean, Jim Curtin signed an extension not too long ago. They still, Philly still has Daniel Dasgog. They don't have Andre Blake right now. You got Nashville, who is getting Jacob Schaffelberg back, but will also be down Walker Zimmerman, I believe. No, I think no. He'll be there. He'll be there.
He'll be
Yeah,
there.
he'll be there. And I think they might have Mateo Bunbury back.
Yep.
Yeah, Teal. See, I still haven't picked my points.
Yeah, I thought you did.
This Nashville lost against Chicago 1-0.
They did. Yes, they did. Because we had a golden opportunity there.
Yeah. Give me 2-1 Nashville.
Flip it for me. Give me 2-1 Philadelphia.
I tell you what, if Nashville keeps drawing and dropping, I think Hanny goes.
I don't see him being sold yet.
Those rumors are heating up.
I don't see it being this window. I see it being after the season ends. When the December window opens over in Europe.
Yeah,
I think it's that. I think it's that season. I think it's that one that goes. That's just my opinion, though.
Money talks.
Yeah, I know. I'm 2-1 Philadelphia for me. That's right. All right, the abandoned match, Colorado Portland Timbers. Reminder: this is only a 45-minute game. Right now, they are currently tied 0-0.
Give me Colorado 1-0.
Give me a 1-1 draw. I'll take a draw on that one. Don't care about that game. LAFC St. Louis.
Which game was that?
Jamaica, Mexico.
Give me Jamaica 1-0. I don't want to see Mexico in the final.
LAFC St. Louis.
Ooh.
Yeah, man, that's rough.
Oh, do I got? Give me a 2-2 draw.
Give me LAFC 3, St. Louis 1.
Ooh, and it's in LAFC, right?
Yes.
Still give me a 2-2 draw.
San Jose, Seattle.
Seattle 3-0.
Give me a 2-2 draw. San Jose scoring the late equalizer. Give me Vancouver and Austin.
Ooh. Give me Vancouver over that one. Hey. There's two teams I don't like. That's Kentucky and the Barcodes.
Oh, that's fair.
Give me Vancouver 2-1.
Anybody but Mexico. I'm gonna go Austin 1-0.
Fair.
I'll go Austin 1-0. All right. Well then, Jerald, my friend. Before we get into this, by the way, I just want to say how fun Gold Cup was. My lord, I cannot wait until the USA play Guatemala in the future, or at the World Cup, and just love every single Guatemala fan that I'm going to see in the stadium. Dude, they were out partying. Like, we get there at noon, they were out there in droves. Music, food, selling shirts, scarves, flags. They had like those little horn things. That's all you heard. throughout
Oh,
like from
the air horns.
noon until the end of the game, until the end of the Guatemala Jamaica game. That's all you heard. It was absolute madness. I loved it. That was a fun experience. I was very happy I got to do that. Met a lot of cool people.
Did you run into Snipes?
I did, yeah. He walked in. I was like, "Sir, you're not allowed here."
That's what I told him. I said you should run into him. He was like, I did. He told me to leave.
I didn't tell you. I didn't say leave. I said you're not allowed here. No, it was cool. Yeah, I saw him. Good people down in Cincinnati though, from the communication staff. Patrick O'Leary is a great guy.
They were when we were down there for crew.
Yeah, yep. Patrick, he was the one who was helping us with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I was so funny because I was like, Patrick, good to see you again. I was like, I was here for crew. And he was like, I was like, he said, I was wondering where I saw you before. I was like, yeah, I was. And he's like, it's good to see you again. And Olivia also, she was there. She works for Cincinnati. She was there. She helped out. It was funny because we did an icebreaker at first, and like we went around, and a majority of the volunteers that were there were from Columbus, and so. But no, it was like, we had our jobs and whatnot, and some of us were kind of spread out and whatnot. But at the end of it, it was who was it during the USA Canada game? It was Andrea, Mara, Olivia, me, and Tony. We were all in the press. We were all in the radio booth watching the game, and we were just talking like we've been best friends, dude. Like, man, these are cool people. So Cincinnati has some really nice people down there. Mm-hmm. Seeing TQL decked out in USA colors was nice too. So it is a nice stadium down there.
I'm not taking away from it,
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice. And we took a picture on the field also. I don't know if you saw my tweet and whatnot. Yeah, that's a nice stadium down there. It's fun.
I'm not going to take nothing away from them. Everything was cool for the game until the FCC chants.
What?
There were a bunch of FCC chants. When Vasquez came on, and then when he scored, you didn't hear USA, you heard FCC.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
I mean, at least chant USA. But I get it. He's at his home stadium. It was cool for him to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just like if we had Gold Cup at lower.com. You know what I'm saying? So, which I'm pretty sure if it was USA and Canada, and when it came time for PKs and all that, Jason stepping up, it would have been.
Oh, me when Brandon missed his, I mean, we were all like, oh my gosh! But when Jason made his, me and Mara were like, yes. And Mara looked at the way, she goes, sorry, that's a crew guy. And we're like, it's like, that's our guy, so my bad.
Hey. And the way that he did it, and after talking with the source and all that, for him to do that against an Arsenal guy and Matt Turner.
Oh yeah, I know who your source is.
Yeah, well,
sources.
For him to do that, against an Arsenal guy.
Yeah.
It's been said that he was talking about how great it was.
I believe it.
But they need to get his name right.
Yeah. It was so funny. We were above Dane St. Clair, Kamal Miller. I can't remember who else it was. We were they were in the suite below where we were. So it was cool to see family members from Canada. Yeah. Jason's mom and girlfriend were on TV.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw it cool.
A couple times, and it looked like she tried to duck behind the flag. No, but for a young player to have parents and girlfriend travel like that,
yeah,
to his games, it means something.
Yeah, definitely.
But he was hungry.
Oh, dude, when he almost scored that, me and Mara were like we were about to start cheering.
And you know what? For him to
No,
get the
it was me, Mara,
recognition,
and Andrea.
for him to get the recognition though from the broadcasters,
Mm-hmm.
right? Seeing how, from his first time that he got into the game to, into one of the matches in the Gold Cups, and now watching them talk about how, look what he's doing here. He had a brilliant chance there, just, sent it a little too high, didn't really get his foot under. But I'm sitting there when I saw that pass and the way he just stuck his foot out, I'm like, is it gonna bend? Is it gonna drop? Is it? Oh shit.
Yeah, man. I was so upset he didn't score that, but he got the PK, and I was like, all right, all is well in the world.
And he hit it ice cold.
Oh yeah, bro. That was
Like he stunned Matt Turner. Like
that was cool, calm, and collected.
you didn't know. Like Matt Turner honestly could not predict Jason.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can.
No.
Jerald, last segment of the show, buddy. Yellow card, red card.
All right. Oh, my yellow card that I could deal with is
All the crew fans in the chat wanting to give a red card to Sergio Boyko, by the way.
Well, there goes my red card. Jeez, guys. People that don't use turn signals, I could deal with it because sometimes I don't.
Okay.
All right. Sometimes I don't use the turn signal, but that's also too depends on why I'm not using it, and two, if I'm speeding.
Fair.
Because I tell you, if my stomach is talking to me, I'm not using a turn signal. I'm speeding, I'm cutting you off, I'm getting to a place that I need to be. So, other than that, people that don't use turn signals and then take forever to turn at the same time.
Okay.
I could deal with those, right? My red card.
Big ups. I back that.
That's my red card.
This?
Yes. People that don't know how to control kids in restaurants.
Oh, you got specific. Okay.
Because not being able to control your kids when you're at a restaurant and letting them run around and do whatever they want. That's how restaurants lose business, because, the parents want to get mad when businesses come over and say something. Hey, get your kids. Get them under control or get out. Then it becomes that whole, oh, well, you're doing this because, racial, whatever, this, that, and the third. Just control your kids. If you're out in public, just control them. Please, for the love of God and my sanity. I don't need another trip back to neck care.
Yeah. All right. So for me,
well, we know what your mom's is.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my red, but I'll figure something else out. I'm going to say a yellow. I want to say a yellow for people who continue to shoot off fireworks after the 4th of July. I can deal with it because, whatever. But the 4th of July has already passed.
Just some of this might be gunshots.
Yeah. Well, touche. Given where I live, yeah, touche. Sure. My red card is going to have to be. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll just do it. My red card is going to be freaking my red card is going to be freaking Greyhound in general. One, because why would they move the terminal all the way to the west side? I'm sorry, But you really think the Hilltop is a better place than downtown? I'm sorry. my, my friend, I get to we're going to the bus station and down freaking, I think that's West Broad, I don't know. There's like 4 cop cars, 2 medics, the next block over. I mean, my friend, that's absolutely terrible. And then my bus is supposed to leave at 5:45, 5 o'clock. All right, getting there. 5:30, no bus. All right, 5:45, still no bus. My mom goes in and asks the person working there. They said that bus has been canceled. It was picking up in Cincinnati, but not coming to Columbus. Great. So now I'm just practically stuck in Columbus. A shout out to my buddy Nick who let me ride with him up and back or down and back. So yeah,
That's
great.
what's up.
Greyhound, you get this. Why put on the Hilltop?
You get the Sergio Boyko treatment.
Yeah. My mom had no voice because she screamed her head off at the NYC game.
Oh.
Absolute mess.
Did they know how to read sign language?
She had a voice. It was just like a.
I know, but
yeah.
Did they know how to read the sign language?
Who knows? Jerald, my friend, any final thoughts?
I do. I just have one. I know that we were working on something that we talked about before, but this goes out to all our fans and supporters. We do have a listening supporters link. If you would like to donate, you can. If not, continue to share our show. Every penny does count. It does help keep, not only keep this podcast going with, the bills that we have to pay to keep the software, equipment, but it also helps us get out to these games to bring you the content that you guys deserve as the best fans in MLS. I could see your mom doing that.
Yeah, more than likely. Other than that, Jerald, my friend, it's been a blast as always.
Yes, we need more guests.
Yeah, no, we will definitely get some for sure.
I want to do an all-star one for next week.
Yeah, no, I'm still thinking about that. Yeah,
to preview Leagues Cup.
Yeah,
all-star panel.
Yeah, I just gotta figure out like how many guests we can have on or whatnot, or bring them in one at a time and whatnot. But we'll figure it out. In the meantime, thank y'all for tuning in. The Wisemen Say podcast. For Jerald Lucas, my name is Ty Fisher. Jerald, my friend, as tradition goes, Wisemen Say.
Only fools rush in.
Y'all have a good night. And Jerald,
stay wise, y'all.
Hey, look at that.